How y'all doing?
Good, baby.
Hey.
I just wanted to say I confronted my dad about molesting me, and it made a difference in my life. But what I never did talk about to my late husband were the details of what my father did, because I never wanted him to look at me when he kissed me and see, oh, her father kissed her. So even though he knew about it, he never knew the details.
Mm-hmm.
And but my conversation with my father is so much better. My life is so much better. I was very promiscuous as a teenager, and I just felt like having these situations in sex was going to make me closer to the people, which was really the closeness I wanted with my father, a pure closeness, not a molestation type of closeness with my dad. I wanted him to really be my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking for to meet people until I confronted my dad. And once I confronted my dad, I stopped being like that. I stopped wanting people to touch on me any kind of way and any kind of thing. So for me, I think for some of the people who've been molested, you really got to kind of confront it in order to conquer it.
There it is.
Thank you, my baby. We love you, sis.
No?
Here's why I absolutely appreciate Monique and Sydney's open relationship. Because you hear people calling in, releasing themselves. Because it's not a place of judgment. It's not a place of books. It's not a place of we stamping God on it. We're talking just from love and from the heart. And, I hear some people saying, I hear you talking about therapy, but oftentimes in the black community, that's not something that we even consider. Well, there's a couple reasons why. Because we never wanted to be considered crazy. And if you knew somebody crazy, you'd be like, oh, girl, bitch, that bitch Brenda crazy as hell. Don't nobody say nothing to her. But we tell Brenda to take 2 Tylenols and drink a Pepsi and go lay down. So we walk around with all of this pain in our communities. And then some people say, Monique, I can't afford to pay no bitch $300 an hour to tell her what I'm feeling. And I make a joke out of it on the stage, but I'm dead serious when I say, find you a bitch on the bus stop. Go to these nursing homes. Let me tell y'all something. Some of the best words I've gotten was from older sisters who've been there, done that, understood it, and could look at me in my young girl eyes and say, before you go down that road, let me have a conversation with you. That's why, for me, I gravitate to older women, because I realize I don't know it all. And I don't want to fuck up this second chance. I don't want to mess it up. So there are times that I will go to those nursing homes. And I'll sit with a woman, she don't know me and I don't know her, but we just get to talking. And she start pouring into my spirit. I remember one time I called Queen Cookie. I was showing off. And I was just being bad. And I called her up. This is why I fucks with her, y'all. Because she get real woman with me. Then she go back to the motherly shit. So I'm just saying my smart shit on the phone. She said, hey, don't you fuck up something great to get something good. And it made me stop complaining in that moment. And I was complaining about some shit that I was wrong about. I just needed somebody on my goddamn side.
And I've seen a difference in you since I've told you.
Listen.
I've seen a difference.
That complaining don't happen no more. Because those words right there don't fuck up something great to get something good. And I'm complaining probably, I can't remember what I was complaining about. Some bullshit. But it's those words, and it's coming from a woman that's 68 years old, that's saying to me, baby, listen, don't you send your household through unnecessary bullshit. I've been there and done that. So let's be unafraid, especially for us women. As my daddy say, there are some things, and Mr. Dennis say, there are some things that only men can talk about. I respect that. But our men know there are some things that only women can talk about, because it's going to take another woman to understand the woman shit that you're trying to say. So be unafraid to open up. And people say, well, that's my business. What the fuck is business?
I mean, it is that person's right to keep it to themselves if they're comfortable keeping it to themselves. It's just when you need to share it and you're keeping it to yourself. Because there's some things that you feel like, I'm comfortable with keeping that to myself. I don't need to say it. Then you should keep it to yourself. But if you feel the need to talk, and you're not willing to do it because you're afraid of being judged, look at who you're afraid of being judged by. And that will allow you to speak confidently
Wow.
because you then say the individuals that you are concerned about, too, just like you, have expiration dates. They're not going to defy the laws of life, death, gravity, things of that nature. They're just like you. So if you like peanut butter and bananas, but you're afraid to eat that in front of people, we know black people that are like, I won't eat no banana in front of nobody white.
Yes.
I will not eat a banana in front of somebody white. Why not? Because they're not going to be looking at me like I'm some sort of monkey. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How did you get that from a banana? How?
This is why we messed up.
Okay.
We think that shit is funny.
That's right. Right. Okay. So you just be like, but wait a minute. White people eat bananas too. But I know, but they tease us about being gorillas. Here's the thing. If there are those that would do that because you're eating your banana, go ahead and you eat your banana. And if they get a kick out of making fun of you, so what? What happens now that they've made fun of you? What happens?
What happens?
Nothing. And the moment we start realizing that the people that are going to ridicule us, regardless of what we do, are going to be there anyway, even more reason to be you.
Come on, y'all. We are talking about it today. Do you have someone to talk to? Do you have someone to talk to? 44832-2963. Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, Monique and Sydney, it's Gene, your Farmer's Market friend.
Hey, Gene.
How you doing?
Good, baby.
I just want to tell you, Sid, I'm so grateful that you just mentioned that comment about judgment because I typed a post and a comment in there. But, I think the biggest issue is that we judge ourselves so hard because of the fear of other people judging us a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole judgmental attitude of our people, we really have to address that because of judgment, I feel so many people have suppressed emotions from the fear of it or even just from the fact of them judging themselves. But like even for your situation, when you were saying people don't for both of you all's situation, children when they go through that type of trauma, they don't understand why that happens. So some children, that creates a psychological trauma that is long-lasting throughout their life. So just the judgment, we have to really work on that as a community. And I just want to say, my only other comment that I want to say is we really have to start really addressing this sexual trauma or deviance that we have in the community because this is something that you hear, I know I do a lot of ancestors. A lot of people have incest going on in their family. Like, there's just so many things, and there's so many wounds, sexual trauma wounds, that we as a people need to heal, because this has been going on for too long. The over-sexualization, and it's just too many children that are affected by this, and it's been going on for too long. I hate when people just act like it's just human nature, and it's sad to feel like that children can't have innocence. But, we really have to work on that as a people and being able to talk about that and not judging people for it. So that's I wanted y'all to talk a little bit about that,
We sure will, Jane, and I love you, baby.
Thanks for calling.
I see you in the vegetable aisle. All right, baby. This show is so important because just simply saying, do you have someone to talk to? And there's so many of us that simply don't have someone to talk to. And I see some of the comments in the room and people are saying, just trust in the Lord and talk to God. And I would ask the people that says that, is that your solution? Do you find a solution when you do that? And if you do, then keep doing that. For me, I got to talk out loud. And I got to talk to people that when I look in their eyes and they look back at me, we feeling each other and what we're saying. Because that's the healing part. Like, that's the healing part. Y'all, I've said some things to my husband that I thought I would take to my grave. I thought that I would die with those thoughts and those secrets and those Whatever it was, I thought that I would take it with me and never share it with anyone. And I remember the night that the universe said, just pour it out. Tell them everything. Oh, sisters, y'all don't even understand that night. That night saved my life because I was able to say, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did that one, I did that one. I did both of them. I did. It was so freeing in that moment because I thought that I would never be able to share it. But to be able to sit down in that closet that night and say, because I had been spoon feeding it, because there were things I was so ashamed of and embarrassed about. So it started on a Monday, and I would say, okay, let me tell you. And then he would say, is that everything? And I would say, yeah. And then here come Tuesday. And that little voice was saying, bitch, it's not everything, and you can't free yourself. And then Tuesday came, and I said, okay, I got a little more to tell you. And then he would say, okay, is that it? And I said, yeah, that's it. And goddamn it, here come Wednesday. It took me about they said it took them 7 days to create the shit, okay? Okay, 7 days seven is an important goddamn number. It took me 7 days. So on that final day, he looked at me and we sat on the floor in that closet. And he said, Mama, is that everything? And I said, Daddy, that's everything. And it was exhausting. Because it was like, now I can breathe. Now I don't have to look at this man that I say I love you to, knowing that I have a secret. And not so much that it was a secret, that it was something that I had did wrong. It was just a secret of shame. And I wanted to say it out loud so that I wouldn't be shameful anymore. I just didn't want to be shameful. I didn't want to walk on another stage and feel like I was being fraudulent. And I would always say to Sid, I say, Daddy, I don't want to be a fraud. I don't want to be on those stages saying something that I'm not walking in. Come on, y'all. We're talking about it today.
We're talking about
Do you have somebody to talk to, Mama? What you want to talk about now? Come on, say it.
Shit, I said I want to talk about something about 5 minutes ago. You know I'm menopausal. What the fuck was I going to say? Oh, God damn it. But you hit on the point. Because I think one of the things I was going to say was, as a child, I grew up in a Pentecostal church. Strict rules and regulations. And they always told us, just give it to God. Well, I would go and give it to God. But the problem wasn't never leaving, because it seemed like I needed to talk to a human being. And you touched on that, baby, when you said you wanted to look at the person in the face and in the eyes and have them look back at you. Same thing. And when you talk about getting it out talking, I love it when my husband talks to another man, because it makes my life better. Because another man can see what I couldn't get across. And they'll be able to advise him, and he'll come home better to me. And the same thing when I talk to a woman. I get it out.
Yes,
and then I'm coming home, and I'm a better wife to him.
Come on, y'all. Come on. We're talking about it.
We're talking about it.
Do you have somebody to talk to? Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Thank you, Jesus, and his daddy. Lord, I finally made it through. This is Khaled Johnson calling from Riverside, Florida. Wow.
Baby, you don't even understand. I'm trying to hold back the tears hearing your voice. Oh.
I am so happy I finally made it through. Oh, my God. First, let me say I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love you some more.
I love you back, baby.
Topic today, Monique, when I tell you it touched me, I said, you know what, God know I have something to say, so let his big mouth baby make it through today. Mo, when I first met you, you were the first person that I had opened my mouth to tell the things that I felt about what I was going through with my mother. Before meeting you, I had told no one. I had so many friends that had beautiful relationships with their mother. And they would go out to mother-daughter lunches. There were so many things, and I would pretend that I had the same things with my mom, but I didn't. And I kept that in. I kept it close to myself because, again, we were on the plot. You know, whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. We were raised with that.
because of that, I have learned not to do that with my children. And you know you have things you don't want your children to tell other adults or tell other people. So I've learned that if there are things I don't want my children to tell, there are things that my children should not witness. There are things that I should not let them bear witness to or let them hear. So I don't have to tell them and preach to them those same things and allow them to talk. When I begin to talk more and I begin doors open for me, and if they didn't open for me, they opened for someone else who heard my story, I realized I could talk to anyone. There was no such thing as, this is my business, keeping your business to yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all God's business. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start talking, and I don't care who listens and who doesn't listen. I talk on social media. I talk on Periscope. I talk on Facebook. I have gone to Facebook and told my stories of my childhood and my family. When I say I've never so much phone calls from my family or one day, the first time I went to Facebook and I began to talk about what I went through with my mother's addiction and the things that I went through with my siblings, I got 1,000 phone calls. Why are you telling that? Why are you saying that? Why would you go on social media and tell all these folks your business? The people who tell you not to talk, the people who want you to keep things quiet, are known the people that play a part in your story that they're ashamed of.
Come on.
So you cannot let their shame become your shame. You can talk about whatever it is that you have going on with you, because at the end of the day, it's God's business, and it is a sweet. It is a sweet, and it is you moving forward and not holding yourself back. Whatever you hold in, hold back. So when you want to move forward in life, when you want your shoulders to feel a little lighter, you have to twist. I can talk to a complete stranger that does not matter to me, whether they're able to help me or whether they're not. I have helped myself by telling my story. You have to tell your truth, even if it means that you expose somebody else's. Not everybody is ready for their truth. Not everybody is ready for their truth to be exposed. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of people truth play a part in yours. So you have a parent that wasn't capable or had the ability to parent you or to love you the way that you wanted to be loved or that you needed to be loved. That's your truth that you weren't loved that way, but it's their truth also that they did not love you that way. So if they're not ready for their truth to be exposed, that's okay. But you don't let that hold you back.
You know, Khia, let me just let y'all know who this baby is. When we were doing Monique's Fat Chance, and we had the open call in Florida, and this beautiful baby was standing in that line. And when she opened her mouth, the smile on her face was just breathtaking. And she's very chocolately dark. Like it looked like you can wipe her face and just get a chocolate bar for that deep dark chocolate. And when she began to talk, she didn't talk like a victim. She talked as a matter of fact. And that's why I selected her. Because she talked, she said, this is what it is. And you had a little boy. She had a little boy. Yes, she had her little baby. And she was like, I need this for my baby. And she was just matter of fact. I'm like, little girl. Because at the time she was a little girl. I said, little girl, let's roll and do this. So when I hear you speak so confidently and so sharp right now, I just want to say we're proud of you, baby, and keep going.
Keep doing it.
Thank you.
We love you, honey.
I love you guys too.
All right, my sweetness.
Take care.
Oh, baby. We're talking about it today.
We talking about it.
Do you have somebody to talk to, Daddy?
Do you have somebody to talk to? And I'm glad that I do have someone to talk to. In yourself, and the friends that I have, and in myself. And, you know, sometimes we, again, forget about ourselves. And you've got to have that conversation with you sometimes before you're having that conversation with that confidant, because you've got to make sure that you're telling your confidant the real shit. Not just what you think that they need to hear so they can say what's going to be what we believe to be on our side. we want to be on the side of right, not our side, because the side of right has been around far longer than our side has been around. So when we do that, it at least allows the people that we are weighing things in and out with the opportunity to give real advice to the real situation, not advice that's been slighted to make it look like you were right. Cause see, my baby, she'll be like, "Said you supposed to be on my side," and numerous times during the year I'm like, "I am." That's why I'm telling you that shit is wrong. Okay, I am on your side. Okay, but it's like it's a blessing to have someone like we discussed that since you were 14. You've talked about things like best friends, then sisters, then and brothers, then because my wife will sometimes say to me, "Girl," and I'd be like, "Yeah, go ahead." And she'll stop, be like, "You know what? That's when you know we close." When I be just like, "Girl, nigga, did you see that nigga? Yes. Nigga, did you see that?" Yes. It's my wife right there now.
Yes, because the foundation is friendship. And, you know, we'll even have to catch ourselves now. Because I'll slip up and be like, "Bitch, let me tell you something." And I'll be like, "Oh, shit. Oh, daddy. Oh."
But we understand.
Yes. Or he'll be like, "Yo, this." And because we've been that for so long, there's no offense taken. And just off on a side note, Daddy, we've been taught to be so offended. We've been taught to be fucked up at everything. Like, did he just call you a bitch? Let me tell y'all something. If your man ain't never called you a bitch, you ain't in a real relationship. Okay?
Wait a minute, I thought that was for the bedroom.
Wherever it go down. If your man ain't never called you a bitch, you ain't in a real relationship.
I'm sorry, but I had to throw that when you bring that.
You got to come strong with it, Mr. Dennis. Now, do you
messed up the flow?
No, you didn't.
Do you have someone to talk to? Because it can literally save your life.
Somebody said, calling me a bitch under his breath, does that count? No, you got to say it out loud so she can hear. "Oh, bitch, go on with that."
Yes.
And she be like, "All right, then."
Yes, and I've had to say that. I've had to catch myself, baby, because I like, bitch, you know when I'm being that, and I need to behave myself. Yeah. Listen, sisters. And I'm gonna let a 68-year-old woman tell you what it's like to be called a bitch in the bedroom. So we, as these younger women, we understand the goals we got to get to. Talk on her, mama.
Oh, baby.
Talk on her.
My husband just turned 71 last month.
Tell him.
And he's still fucking.
Oh, now
we ain't fucking but every other month, but we fucking.
Okay, then that's what now, shit.
Now, you heard it here on Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. Okay. Now, when you 71 and 68, and that's what you say, you're not going to tell me about all these cats thumping the Bible and they 20, 30, 40. When the 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds, that's permission. That is a lease on life. That this is how people think, and this is where you can come to get some real ass conversation.
Come on.
Okay?
Now.
Come to the barbecue, or you can go to the opera. Sometimes you gotta go to the opera. But we having barbecues over here now.
That's what we having.
I want them people on Periscope to see this man.
Let me see him. Let me see him, mama. Let me turn it around.
Stand behind you.
Y'all ready to see Mr. Dennis? Look at that. Bam.
Hey, y'all.
Bam.
Yeah. We still fucking.
Look at that. Look.
Okay? Just so you know what fucking at 71 and 68 looks like.
Get that.
Okay?
Get that. Oh, get that. Get that. Oh, pump him on the back. Pump him on the back. Pump him on the back.
They've been here long enough. They've been here long enough to not be offended by that word. How can that be? She went to church. Mr. Dennis gone to church, and how can they not be offended and then speak so outrightly and say
that they be fucking.
Yes.
Okay? How can that be?
How can that be?
How can that be?
In the name.
Okay? It's because they had someone to talk to. And they feel comfortable now being able to allow one another to be who they are, accepting how they are through conversation. So when we are able to have these conversations like we're having right now, you can always feel comfortable in being yourself.
Come on, you know.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, I gotta tell y'all so y'all understand me and this woman's relationship. And I told y'all about it before, but the first time I saw her on stage, and Mr. Dennis walked up to the stage, and she said to the audience, y'all see my fine husband? Yes, we still fucking. I said, I love her. I love her. I love her.
Love her. You want to take one more, baby?
Let's take it, sugar. Shit, this is the kind of show I like. Come on now. Hey, baby, you're on Monique and Sydney, Mr. Dennis, and Queen Cookie.
Come on.
Who's this and where you calling from?
Sean calling from D.C.
Hey, Sean from D.C.
How are you?
Wonderful, sugar. How you doing?
I've had better days.
Okay, well, talk to us.
It's interesting that this is your topic today. I've been talking to some friends. I've been dealing with depression for a long time. See me through failed marriages, lost friends, all that kind of stuff. And I've been seeing a therapist, and things were going well, and I lost my job. I got another job. Insurance doesn't take care of the therapist. I don't really trust a lot of folks, so I don't know about having to reestablish another relationship with somebody. I talk to my friends, but then I don't talk a lot because I don't want to seem like I don't want to be overbearing and kind of like project my problems on the people. And it's just kind of overwhelming sometimes. And I heard what Sydney said about, talk to yourself, but I don't know that I trust myself to say the right things to myself. So it just becomes difficult sometimes. And it's just like, I went to bed fine last night. I woke up this morning and like a panic attack. I ended up having like to call out from work, and then I got depressed because I didn't go to work. And it's just like, it's just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming sometimes. You just don't really know what to do. And I really don't even know why I called. I don't know. I guess I just needed to say that.
You just needed to say that.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And that's the benefit of conversation, because when you can say that, then you run into someone else who can say the exact same thing that you're saying. And then what you start realizing is that there's not a problem that you could have that someone else doesn't have. And sometimes just knowing that you are not alone, that allows a level of freedom to say, well, what I'm doing or experiencing is not specific in unto me. It is because I exist inside of myself. But when I open up, then people are sharing with me, because what I've now allowed people to know is I'm not perfect. And there's something to be said about those who allow others to know their vulnerabilities, because what they're not is a threat, and what you'll find yourself is being more so in a position, because who really that's evolved to some degree wants to be the one that people are intimidated by. But when sometimes we create this false aura of perfection, that's what takes place. But when you create an aura of, this is who I am, I'm going to make some mistakes, I've got some good things going on, then you find that you've allowed the room to be that much looser. The room is that much looser because you're there. It's that much more comfortable because you're not the one putting on airs pretending as if you've got it all together, when that's not what it is. And then you'll find that others will say the same thing that you're saying, and now you're surrounded by people who initially you thought were so different from you, but you find out how similar you actually are. And despite the specifics of what you're concerned, that they may be different, the fact that we have concerns as people are all the same. So the only thing you can do is keep working your plan. If you don't know what to say to yourself, as long as you're here, your job is to keep working towards figuring out how to make it work for you, because there's no more valiant project in this world than you. especially as it pertains to you. So do what you need to do to create the value that you would like to have in yourself, because it's right there inside of you.
Y'all, we want to thank you, my sweet sister, and thank you for being the last caller, my baby.
Thank you.
And sis, she's still here. You know, it's up to you. It is up to you. It is up to you to make you better. So we hope that, and you calling in, and if you get a chance, listen to the previous shows. Go back as far as you can and just take some time to really listen. Because just like yourself, there are callers that were calling in, some dealing with depression, some dealing with just trying to make it to the next day. Just listen to the shows and you'll understand you're not alone.
And try to...
I discovered y'all a few weeks ago, and I listened to every show.
Wonderful, baby.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And don't hesitate to go online and find places where people are just gathering around having conversation, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical doctor talking to you. Sometimes it's just support groups that where you have people that are experiencing the same things as you. And we oftentimes be like, I ain't trying to go to no support group. All these people come and telling me that problem. Listen, those are the people that'll help you save your life, and you never know where you're going to get it from. So just keep on trying to get it.
We love you, baby.
For free.
And I love y'all back. Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Y'all, we talked about it today. Do you have someone to talk to? And we want to thank y'all for talking to us. We want to thank Queen Cookie, Mr. Dennis, for letting us know what 68 and 71
Come on.
look like. How you get down with the get.
That's what's up.
Oh, baby. So we want to thank y'all, baby, because y'all could have been doing anything else. Thank you for each ear, each heart, and each mind. And like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It's no good unless